Plaza de la Constitución is the heart of downtown St. Augustine, and it's starting to look a lot different. For a controversial memorial that's been debated for months, the removal of the obelisk only took a few minutes. The obelisk that bears the names of Confederate soldiers was wrapped up and put in harnesses. It weighs about 20,000 pounds. Project manager Jeremy Patterson says the crew hovered the obelisk over the base by 1 inch for about 10 minutes to make sure it was stable. Then they lowered it to the ground. That process took only about 5 minutes. We're told that the memorial was moved in the early morning hours because that's when the crane was available. St. Augustine City Commission originally voted to remove this memorial back in June. Since then, a group of people who say they are descendants of those memorialized sued the city over the removal process. A judge threw out that case earlier this month. Some people have protested the removal, saying this memorial is a part of history, while others have applauded the actions, saying the memorial represents white supremacy. Project manager Jeremy Patterson says they're hopefully going to start working on the base by tomorrow and the relocation by early next week. In downtown St. Augustine, Leah Shields, First Coast News on your side.